Hey, what's up YouTube? It's CJ. I'm going to give you guys a quick look at the reef. Try my best to catch up on everything that's happened the last couple weeks and share some of my future plans. But before we can do that, I got to take on one of the biggest challenges in the hobby, removing a damn damsel from your reef tank. So for anyone new in the hobby, having a damsel in your reef tank can only end one of two ways. So let's say you decide to keep it. You're either cheap, easy to come by, huge variety of colors, give you lots of action in your reef tank, right? Until you find out one day they're completely evil and it turns into pretty much a hostage situation to where you can't even control your own tank stock list. So let's say you decide to remove it. You want to avoid the drama. You don't want any of your new additions getting chased so much that they catch ick. You just pretty much want a drama-free tank. So my original plan was simple. Come home early in the morning, turn the lights on the tank before it's normally awake, and try my best to catch the fish while it's still sleeping and, right for the picking. So now we arrived at day 2. This is my second attempt of trying to catch this fish. Either he wakes up early or I'm just not turning the tank on soon enough, but he was waiting on me. So after removing part of my scape, using 2 nets, and about 20 nerve-wracking minutes of trying to catch this fish, I was finally able to get him to swim into the net. I don't know if you should consider that luck or just good karma, but I'll take it either way. This could have been a lot worse. I could have had to break down my whole tank, remove more corals, or even worse, get the net snagged or something. It's really hard navigating a tank with corals. With things glued down with SPS that easily snag nets, it really wasn't easy. So, I'll take wins where I can get them in this hobby. Now, we can all agree, catching a damsel is pretty frustrating, but honestly, it doesn't even come close to comparing to the stress you feel when you try and put your tank back together. So after many, many failed attempts, I could never get this rock to go back the way it was before, so I just got to live with it. It really comes to the pros and cons of using putty. If I had putty in here, everything would be secure, but I wouldn't be able to remove it to catch that fish, or at least not easily. Since I don't have putty, I gotta take my time, balance this rock out, and it moves every time, and I just gotta live with it. So just food for thought for anyone that uses putty when you do your scape. So it's the tank a few hours later. For the most part, the water's clear. As far as the coral, some of them are open, but if you watch your tank as much as I watch my tank, especially with euphyllias, you really can tell if they're really inflated and everything's happy as it can be. So I'm gonna take a second, kind of show you all the corals and some of the things I noticed the last couple weeks with growth and some problems I'm showing. And we're gonna give you a quick update, so let's get to it. So the first coral I want to show you guys is gonna be my Duncan Coral. Now, if you're new to my channel, just to let you know, this coral's been in my tank since the beginning. Started off with about 6 heads, I would say roughly 20, maybe even more at this point. And it's really not happy. Of course it's stressed out from all the chaos I caused earlier, kicking up debris and, blowing the rockwork out and all that other stuff. But, this coral's been showing signs of trouble for the last couple of weeks. Now, I will say, one night I came home from work and I noticed the snails had knocked over one of the mushrooms and it was laying right on top of the Duncan for I don't know how long, maybe a few hours. My thought was it would just recover from that. That could be part of it, or it could be the torch coral reaching over to it. I did move the torch recently and that also could have, maybe got to a few heads. So we'll see how it goes. Besides the water change, nothing else should be affecting it, because the other corals are responding fine. Now, we'll say it is eating, so hopefully this is just a temporary thing and he bounces back to his true form. Now, this red Gonipora coral, for the most part, it's been doing pretty good. I know they have a track record for being hard to keep, but until I did that chaos this morning, it was pretty open and, pretty happy. So I'm thinking that moving the rock work has kind of shaded it now. I may have to move this coral down a little bit more and give it some time to kind of bounce back. So I'll keep you guys updated on this situation for sure. So after literally months of waiting, I'm finally able to see growth on these 2 corals. My Hollywood Sterner Chalice coral, which I haven't shared with you guys a lot, and my red Gonipora. Now, this red Gonipora, I really have plans for it really growing upwards and being that bright red portion on the rockwork on this side of my tank. It just, it's been moving on its own time. It took a few weeks to start encrusting on the rockwork, and now it's finally plating underneath. I don't know if it's going to start turning upwards on its own. I'm not sure. It's my first time having this coral, but I'm really excited about its potential. Now, as far as my Hollywood Sterner Chalice goes, I'm really not, sure how I feel about its location. For the longest, it was just a dime-sized piece I glued to the rock and kind of forgot about it, honestly. But, starting to grow, starting to encrust over the rock work. If it's going to encrust and stay on the rock, I'm happy. But if it starts plating outward and shadowing out my Gonipora and just doesn't look right, I may have to try to get it off the rock. So, time will tell. I'll keep you guys updated. But growth is growth, so, I'm happy. I'll take it. I'm going to show you guys the latest addition to the reef tank. These are going to be some purple and orange Rhodactis mushrooms. More purple in the center with the orange rings around the outside of them. Now, of course, they're not open right now. They're still getting adjusted. I've only been in the tank for, I would say, a week, maybe a little less. But I'm excited to see how they look on this part of the rock work. Now, for those of you that follow my channel, you may remember me sharing some rare Rhodactis mushrooms I added a few weeks ago. Well, shortly after having those, a few days later, actually, I just didn't, it didn't do it for me. I decided to go ahead and return them. That's when I picked up these mushrooms. So I really feel I'm looking for a specific look, a specific core that's going to cover this rock and complement what's around it. So if the orange on these mushrooms really pops and does it for me, I'll keep them. If not, the search will continue. So I'll keep you guys updated if the situation changes. But for now, I'm gonna give them time to adjust. I'm gonna give them a fresh shot and we'll just roll with it. So as far as all the other corals go, nothing really to report. My devil's hand coral is showing some signs of stress, so it's kind of shriveled at the moment, but I'm sure that'll respond, won't be any real issues. Now my euphyllias, they're not open as full as they normally are, but for the most part, I think they're okay. So I really attribute that to all the trouble I caused earlier this morning, and also a problem I had my auto top off. Let me share that with you. So to make a long story short, I normally use a 5-gallon refillable RO jug from Walmart or Kroger for my auto top off. While carrying it, I stepped on a toy, didn't see it, damn kids set me up, and I took a spill. So I ended up cracking my auto top off container, and I needed some kind of temporary solution. So I ended up using a gallon jug, filled it up with RO water, added some kalk to it, shook it up, let it settle out for about 5 or 10 minutes, then I hooked it up to my tank. Now, for the most part, I say it was clear, but, I probably could have gave it a little longer, and I think that's what actually caused my spike. And by spike, I'm referring directly to my pH. My alkalinity didn't really change as much, but my pH jumped from a normal 7.8, 7.9, closer to an 8.2. Now, it's all at once because my tank, my reservoir was a little low, so the auto top off, dumped off close to half a gallon all at once, and that really is what caused it. So, lesson to the wise. If you have an issue where your auto top off is so far behind, go ahead and use RO water to fill it up first, and then let your kalk take over after that. So between the auto top off incident, replacing all my medias in the span of maybe 2 days, I think I just shocked my tank. In this hobby, everything good happens slow and everything bad happens fast. So I think too many changes all at once kind of did me in. Now the corals, for the most part, like I said, it's not a complete catastrophe here in my opinion. They're still alive and open. It's just not happy as it normally is. So I'm gonna give time, let it settle out, probably remove the auto top off for a little while and just use RO until all the numbers drop down. Then I'm gonna do a water change. So, after all is said and done, I'm gonna keep you guys updated. I think everything will be okay. Well, just kind of documenting my incidents, my mishaps, and sharing my lessons to be learned for anyone new. So as far as future plans go, I will be making new additions to the tank, but priority one was getting the damsel out first. I don't want anything causing any kind of stress, causing any more ick outbreaks in my system. I just don't have time for it. Now, as far as the type of new additions, I have an idea, of course, but I'm not going to share it with you guys quite yet. I will say this, it's not going to be any fish that hides, any fish that just, adds bio load to your tank without giving you any kind of, reward for it. So, and it cuts out any kind of blending, anything that buries itself, anything that tunnels. I want free swimming, lots of color, and things that are just gonna, be eye candy for my tank. So definitely gonna keep you guys updated on that. I plan on making those additions here very soon. 3 other changes I failed to mention. First being, I was finally able to catch an anemone in the back of the tank, bagged him up, he's been removed and sold off. As far as additions, I did add a new floor man. If you follow my channel, I had a diamond spot goby that kept my sand bed spotless. Without him, it's been terrible. So I added one of the conch snails to help clean it up. I'll keep you guys updated on my thoughts for the long haul if that guy's gonna do the job for me. And as far as other additions, I did add a rock anemone. Now, of course, he's hiding for this video. Beautiful, beautiful specimen. I can't wait to catch him on camera for you guys. I'm really thinking I may end up loving and buying some more of these guys, so I'll keep you updated. So for anyone that's interested, I am still doing the review for the algae scrubber I added to my tank a week ago. Just no significant changes. Give you guys a quick clip. Growing nothing right now, so I'm going to attribute that to the media I have and the lack of nutrients, so it may take longer than expected. I'm predicting maybe a month before we see any real growth, but maybe less. So either way, I'll keep you guys updated. Just want to make sure I mention it in this video. So that's going to catch you guys up on everything that's happened over the last couple weeks. So as always, hey, you guys like, comment, subscribe. You guys do what y'all do. Y'all be easy.